Good day to everyone. Right now, we're going to discuss the Anti-Hazing Act of 2018. So, this lesson, I have also presented this one to my former PMA cadets, the Talang Dangal class of 2026, and to my former PMA cadets, Mandaray class of 2027. So, as part of your topic in special penal law, we're also going to discuss this lesson briefly. And I know I have already given you so much activities for this topic for you to understand clearly, no? Because hazing is uh, I'm not telling all schools, no, I'm not telling all academies, no. Hazing is sometimes rampant to learning institutions, no. It is just proper for us to discuss, lalong-lalo na sa mga military and police academies, no. Dapat they should know na meron palang uh, batas na nagbabawal at nagpapanish sa hazing, no? Hindi lang sa mga academies, including yung sa mga ROTC and doon sa mga ibang criminology schools. Okay, so here we have an actual case, Dungo versus People. Ang sabi dyan, sabi ng Supreme Court class, the fraternal contract should not be signed in blood, celebrated with pain, marred by injuries, and perpetrated through suffering. Okay, so alam ko some of you or all of you uh, wants to join groups, 'di ba? So syempre or organization, no? Kasi mayroon din kasing naitutulong kapag sumali tayo sa mga grupo or organization. Meron tayong brotherhood, 'di ba? May brotherhood, they can help you in your research, in your assignment, ano? Pero sabi ng Supreme Court class, no, yes, we have a contract, no? But hindi naman kailangan na dumanak ang dugo, no? Hindi naman kailangan may masaktan at hindi naman kailangan mag-suffer, no? Hindi naman kailangan may mamatay. Okay? So, ang ating Constitution class, no, it granted us the right to association, no, and freedom of expression. Sabi diyan, Bill of Rights of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 3, Section 4, ang sabi, no law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and petition the government for redress and grievances. Okay. So, binigyan tayo class ng karapatan ng ating konstitusyon na sumali o kaya mag-establish or mag-assemble ng isang organization. Okay? Karapatan din nating uh, sumali, no? Pag mayroon tayong na-organize, mayroong na-organize na isang association o isang grupo, karapatan din nating sumali at karapatan din nating hindi sumali, no? Yan ang sinasabi class ngayon ng Article 3, Section 8 that the right of the people, including those employed in the public and private sectors to form unions, no, associations or society for purposes not contrary to law shall not be abridged, no? So pinapayagan tayo class ng constitution na bumuo ng union, asosasyon or organization or society as long as the purpose of this organization is not contrary to law. Okay? So for example, we're going to form an association para tumulong for example sa mga kapuspalad, no? Okay 'yon. Pero kung magfo-form tayo class ng organization for purposes of terrorism or for purposes of robbing itong mga traveler sa highway, eh hindi po papayagan yun ng batas natin. Okay, ano ba ang sinasabi ng Anti-Hazing Act of 1995 or the Republic Act number 8049? Ito class yung pinakaunang Anti-Hazing Act passed by the legislative body, no? So in 1995, Anti-Hazing Act of 1995 is a legislation regulating the act of hazing and other initiation rights in fraternities and sororities in the country. So it prohibits and penalizes physical harm and violence in such practices. Class, kung mapapansin nyo rito, no, yung word na regulating is underline. No? Na-underline siya. Ibig sabihin, nung naipasa itong batas na ito, yung hazing no, is being, or yung hazing, no, pwedeng hazing because it is being regulated. So, pwede pa ang hazing noon, no? As long as it is regulated, no? Ano pa ang pinapayagan noon? Yung initiation rights. Okay, so initiation rights before, no? During the first dun sa unang naipasang batas ng hazing, itong RA 8049, no? It is being regulated, no? So titignan natin doon sa bagong batas ngayon sa anti-hazing law. Okay. So ano naman ang hazing? So ang hazing is any act that results in physical or psychological suffering, harm, or injury inflicted on a recruit, neophyte, applicant, or member as part of an initiation right or practice, no, made as a prerequisite for admission or a requirement for continuing membership in a fraternity, sorority, or organization. Okay, so class, yung word na hazing, no, this is any act, no, that will result in any physical. Pag sinabing physical, syempre, they will inflict suffering or harm to your body. O kaya, psychological naman, no? Psychological suffering, harm, or injury, no? Pero kanino ba ini-inflict ito? Ito ay ini-inflict sa mga recruit, sa mga neophyte, sa mga applicant or member. Okay? Itong hazing, no? Sabi nila, kailangan ito part ito ng initiation or part ito ng practice, kaya kailangan pagdaanan mo. Sabi diyan, no? Sabi, made a prerequisite for admission. So, sabi, kung gusto mong sumali sa grupo namin, kailangan na pagdaanan mo muna itong mga prosesong ito, no? So, yung mga proseso, it involves physical suffering o kaya physical harm o kaya injury, no? Okay, ngayon tignan natin class. Okay, so tignan naman natin class yung means employed, no, during hazing. So unang-una meron tayong paddling, no? Pinapaddle ka. So usually ipapaluin yung bandang lower back leg mo, no? Kaya sabi dito sa may picture, o pare, anong gagamitin natin ngayon? Sabi. So makikita nyo dyan, no? May imagine nyo na dyan na ito yung mga ginagamit during paddling, no? Meron din tayong whipping, no? Hinahampas ka, beating. Meron din branding. Ay siguro itong branding makang masakit to kasi pagkakaalam ko sa branding, yung parang bakal yan na pinapainit saka itatatak sa'yo, ano? So parang ginagawa sa mga baka, no? Force calisthenics. Ibig sabihin yung pinipwersa kang mag-exercise ng mag-exercise, okay? What else? Exposure to the weather, no? So pinapaarawan ka maghapon, no? Tirik na tirik yung araw, binababad ka sa gitna ng init, no? Forced consumption of any food, no? Pinipwersa kang kumain o kaya na pinapainom ng alak o kaya kahit anong inumin o kaya pinipwersa kang mag-take ng drugs or other substance or any other brutal treatment or forced physical activity that is likely to adversely affect the physical and psychological health of such recruit, neophyte, applicant, or member. No? So, almost parehas dun sa letter E, no, na pinipwersa kang mag-exercise. So, for example, ikaw, pinwersa kang mag-push up ng 1,000 times. Siyempre, hindi naman siguro kakayanin ng isang tao yon, di ba? Dire-diretso, 1,000 times, walang pahinga. that is already forced calisthenics, no? Sasabihin ng frat member, o sige, tatanggapin ka namin dito sa grupo namin as long as you're going to perform 1,000 push-up without any rest. Siguro hindi naman kakayanin yun ng isang tao. Okay? And activities that intentionally tend to humiliate or embarrass or endanger, no, such as doing menial, silly or foolish tasks, no, o kaya ginagawa sa iyo pinagsusuot ka ng palda, no, kalalaki mong tao pinagsusuot ka ng palda, ng takong o kaya ng bikini, tapos sabi, o sige, maglakad ka dito sa may bandang maglakad ka doon sa loob ng mall, sasabihin sa iyo, ano? So that is a silly or foolish task. O to, parang ganito, no? So, sabi, hazing is any activity expected of someone joining or participating, no, in a group that humiliates, degrades, abuses, or endangers them, regardless of a person's willingness to participate. So there are three components that define hazing, no? It occurs in a group context. Ito yung tatlo: humiliating, degrading, or endangering behavior. No? So this hazing is an activity, no, that will humiliate you, that degrades you, or endangers behavior. No, parang mga ito, ano? So, hindi ba kahiya-hiya, kunwari, for example, kalalaki mong tao, prusko kang tao, tapos for the sake lang na makasali ka sa organization, is kailangan mong magsuot ng ganyan, o kailangan mong magbikini, o kaya pag sabi, bili ka sa tindahan, pero naka ka lang, no? O wala kang suot, di ba? So, syempre, kahihiyan naman yun, no? That will humiliate you. O kaya pag sinabi, o sige, kainin mo muna yung tain ng kalabaw, no? That is degrading. Okay, inumin mo yung ihi ng kabayo. That is degrading class, no? So, that is tantamount to hazing. So, tignan naman natin ngayong class. What is an initiation or initiation rites? So, initiation rites are ceremonies, practices, rituals, or other acts, whether formal or informal, that a person must perform or take part in order to be accepted into a fraternity, sorority, or organization as a full-fledged member. So it includes ceremonies, practices, rituals, and other acts in all stages of membership in a fraternity, sorority, or organization. So alam ko naman class, ay yung iba sa inyo nasubukan niyo nang sumali sa mga organization, 'di ba? Meron yung mga initiation rites, no, na pagdadaanan. Pero hindi naman yung mga initiation rites na may kasamang hazing, no? So yung mga organization, initiation rites niya, o sige, kan ka muna, kumanta ka muna diyan, o 'di ba? O kan naman diyan, sample naman diyan ng sayaw o kanta, 'di ba? So ganun, no? So yun yung mga initiation rites, no? For example, bagong pasok ka sa trabaho, o tapos nagkaroon ng staff meeting, pinakilala ka. O, ah, ah, meron po tayong bagong empleyado ngayon, si Pedro de la Cruz. So tinawag siya sa harapan, o sabi, Mr. de la Cruz, baka pwede mo naman kaming sampulan dyan ng isang ah, 10 seconds or 30 seconds na kanta. O, di ba? That is initiation, di ba? Siyempre, ikaw naman yung bagong empleyado, talagang kakanta ka. Di ba? So, kakanta ka, for example, happy birthday siguro, ang kakantahin mo, ano? Those are initiation rites, no? Okay. So, the term organization, no? The term organization shall include any club, no? Yung word na organization, it includes any clubs, no? Number two, organization also include the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Number three, the Philippine National Police. Four, the Philippine Military Academy. Number five, PMMA. Number six, Officer and Cadet Corps of the Citizens Military Training and Citizens Army Training. no? Meron pang mga kasunod yan. Yung Philippine National Police Academy, meron din yung Philippine Coast Guard Academy, no? So, those are considered as organization, no? Yung number one pa lang, sabi dyan, any club. So, RA 8049, it criminalizes hazing, but it does not really prevent hazing from taking place as it still allows initiation rights. Ano, so sabi diyan yung RA 8049, hindi daw niya na-prevent yung hazing kasi it still allows initiation rights, no? So according to the law, these initiation rights can still push through. So kahit pala may batas class na nagbabawal sa hazing, no, meron pa ring some portion of that law that allows initiation rights, no? Unang-una, as long as there is written notice addressed to the school authorities or head of organization 7 days prior. So ibig sabihin pala pag may mga new recruits, may mga new neophytes sa isang existing fraternity, kailangan mo pala daw magpaalam, no? Written notice pa. Written dapat uh, it is to a letter, no? Bago ka payagan na mag-conduct ng initiation. And letter B, there are at least 2 representatives from the school present during the rites. So ibig sabihin sa initiation rites, no, sumulat ka 7 days before or 7 days prior to the conduct of the initiation, dapat daw meron daw dalawang representative from the school, no, during the initiation rites. And letter C, so the rules set forth by the law are not always followed. Totoo naman di ba? So kung nasusunod ang itong ating RA 8049, no, siguro baka naiwasan yung uh, mga namatay during hazing, no? So various organizations across the Philippines still employed the age-old tradition of using violence. Totoo naman, di ba? So sabi diyan, age-old tradition na yan. So ibig sabihin, nung unang panahon pa pala yan na yung mga neophytes, yung mga recruits, yung mga new members, no, kailangan daw saktan, no, to show that they are willing, no, they are willing to become a part of that organization. Okay? Right. So ito, RA 8049 has no teeth. So wala daw ngipin itong RA 8049, no? So walang connection class yung picture dito sa ating next topic. So RA 8049 has no teeth. So since the law was passed in 1995, ewan ko class kung pinanganak na kayo during that year, no? Since the law was passed in 1995, the deaths due to hazing did not really stop, no? So 1995 daw, sabi diyan, hindi pa rin daw na iwasan o hindi pa rin daw nahinto yung mga nangagmatay na uh, mga new members or mga neophytes, no, due to hazing. So as there are at least 15 people who have died. OMG, ano? So madami na palang namatay since the passage of that law in 1995, no? While many have reported sustaining injuries from that. Kasi class yung iba, for example, si Pedro, no, although na-survive niya class yung initiation rites or yung hazing, hindi naman yan magsusumbong. Hindi naman yan kakanta. No? Because they have silence code, no? Code of silence, I mean, sorry. They have code of silence. Hindi yan magsasalita, hindi yan kakanta. Okay? So the numbers do not reflect those who may have suffered injuries but chose not to report to authorities. Siyempre, hindi yan magsusumbong. Diba? Usually kasi, uh, once na nagsumbong ka kasi, no, baka uh, bukas makalawa or hindi natin alam in the future, baka balikan ka naman ng mga frat members na nag-initiate sa'yo. No? O kaya balikan nila yung mga relatives mo o kaya yung partner mo, for example, o yung ibang members ng family mo, ano, kung hindi ko man ikaw yung babalikan, baka naman yung ibang members ng family mo. Kaya they usually, no, they chose not to report to authorities. Siyempre, because of fear. Siyempre, takot sila. Ayaw nilang madamay. Kaya, for example, ako yung natapos na yung aking initiation rites, no, na, I undergone hazing, no, hindi na ako magsasalita because of fear for my relatives or my family's lives. So, okay. Meron na tayo class RA 11053 or the Anti-Hazing Act of 2018. So, binago nila, nabago, no? Binago nila yung 80 yung RA 8049 nung 1995 pa yon, no? So ngayon 2018 na yung pinakabagong batas natin regarding hazing. So last June 2019, President Rodrigo Duterte signed RA 11053 or the Anti-Hazing Act of 2018. Okay? So si Presidente Rodrigo Duterte ang pumirma, no, dito sa bagong batas sa hazing. So this new law amends, ibig sabihin ng amend, no, binago na, no, inamyendahan niya yung lumang batas sa hazing, yung RA 8049 or yung Anti-Hazing Act of 1995. So RA 11053 is an act prohibiting hazing. So kung nakita nyo class, no, dun sa previous slide natin, no, yung RA 8049, it does not prohibit hazing, but it just regulates hazing. Diba? Kung napansin ninyo yon. And regulating other forms of initiation rights of fraternities and organization. It gives teeth to the previous 1995 version of the law as it now outrightly prohibits and makes hazing a criminal act while providing more substantial penalties for those who will be proven guilty. So, nabanggit ko kanina class, itong RA 11053, it outrightly prohibits and makes hazing criminal act. While yung inyong RA 8049, sabi doon, it just regulates hazing. So, your RA number 11053 does not totally supplant the previous law, no? It does not totally supplant, no? But it merely amends it. So, ibig sabihin, class, yung mga ibang hindi applicable na provision, no? Dinagdagan niya o kaya binago niya, no? Thus, there are references in RA 11053 to the old law. So, to a certain extent, cases decided under the old law is still applicable. So, kasi yung RA 8049 class na sabi natin kanina, wala daw ngipin, no? So, bungi-bungi daw. Bungal-bungal, sabi nila. So, ngayon, itong RA number 11053, ito na yung parang pinakapustiso. No? Parang ang isang tao, pag bungal-bungal, bungi-bungi, no? Hindi rin naman makakakagat yan. No? Paano yan makakakain? So, magsuot ka ng pustiso, ayan, no? Normal na ang iyong pagkagat. So, parang ganyan din class ang ibig sabihin sa slide na ito. So, what are not allowed? Ano daw yung mga hindi pinapayagan, no? So, under the new law, banned under the law are all forms of hazing, no? So lahat na ng hazing class sa bagong batas pinagbawal na, no? Not only in fraternities, not only in sororities or organization in schools, but also those in communities and even business corporations, so as a requirement for employment and uniform service learning institution. So it includes but is not limited to any club, association, group, fraternity, or sorority. So question, may question ako sa inyo class. So si Zacarias Maidic is a standout basketball varsity player of De La Salle University. So Zacarias daw ay isang standout basketball player, no? Isa daw siyang varsity player. Alam niyo naman siguro yung school na De La Salle, di ba? Kung nanonood kayo ng UAAP, no? So at 21 years old, he stands at 7 feet tall. So matangkad si Zach, no? Matangkad si Zacarias. 7-footer. So since the age of 13, Zach wanted to be drafted in the Philippine Basketball Association. Kung ako si Zach, kung pwede ko lang ma-advisean si Zach, huwag siyang sasali sa PBA, no? Sa NBA na lang, no? So, last September, okay, so, tignan nyo na lang yung date ha, kasi 2023 because sabi ko sa inyo kanina, itong lecture na ito class was first delivered to my class yung sa Talang Dangal class of 2026. Kaya 2023 yung nagamit ko na date dyan. So, si Zach daw class filed an application before the office of the PBA Commissioner manifesting his intention to join the annual draft. So, gusto niya sumali sa sa PBA through draft. So, alam niyo naman yun ha, yung draft. Napapanood niyo naman siguro sa TV yun, yung draft, PBA draft. So Zach's application for the draft was granted. So pinayagan siya. But before he is officially included in the list of draftees, he is required to perform a series of sweating exercises, no? So sabi, sige, kailangan mo munang mag-exercise, no? So hanggang sa pinagpawisan, no? So ito yung mga ginawa niya. Lateral lunge, glute bridge, feasible leg curl, etc. Ano? So nag-undergo siya ng mga ganyang mga rigorous exercises, no? Hanggang na sumakit daw yung buong katawan ni Zach, no? So yung pinakadulo daw ng kanyang daliri sumakit din, no? Ang tanong, is hazing committed? Meron bang hazing dito, class, no? Yun ang tanong, is hazing committed? Kasi inallow daw si Zach na mag-exercise ng mag-exercise. Pinagawa daw yung lateral lunge, glute bridge, feasible, leg curl. Kung nakikita nyo naman siguro class, yung PBA draft, di ba? Pinapatakbo yung mga athlete, pinapatakbo yung mga applicant, no? Pabalik-balik sila, pinapatalon, no? So, ang tanong class is hazing committed, no? Meron ba? May hazing ba? Aalamin natin yan mamaya class kung meron bang hazing dun sa pinagawa kay Zacarias Maydig. Ngayon, tingnan natin, exception to the prohibition. So, doon sa ating anti-hazing law, meron siyang exception, no? May exception siya. Ano 'yon? Ito, the physical, mental, and practices to determine and enhance the physical, mental, and psychological fitness of prospective regular members of the AFP and the PNP as approved by the Secretary of National Defense and National Police Commission, no? For example, class, sa reception rights ng isang kadete sa PMA, usually uh, they let the cadets, or yes, they let the cadets to perform rigorous exercises, no? Rigorous push up, no? Yung iba pa nga pinapagapang sa putik, no? uh, these are exempted, no? Hindi ito considered as hazing, no? Why? Because ang sabi diyan class ng PMA, ito yung part of becoming a cadet, no? Dapat daw tatanggalin yung civilian attitude mo, kailangan daw matanggal yung civilian mindset mo, no? That's why there is reception, no? So kasi pagpasok mo ng academy class, kailangan mong iwanan yung civilian life mo. Okay, sabi rito hindi daw considered hazing yon. What else? Yung mga trainings class, no? Kung aware kayo sa Scout Ranger, no? O kaya doon sa training ng mga Special Action Force, no? Meron yung tinatawag nilang Hell Week, no? Hell Week, yung 7 araw na kala mo nasa impyerno ka dahil sa sobrang hirap ng mga pinagdadaanan mo sa loob ng kampo. Okay? So for example, yung patatakbuhin ka ng 25 kilometers na walang pahinga, no? Pag may isang Pag mayroon isang ranger na nagpahinga o kaya nahilo sa ating gagawing takbo ngayon, no? Buong platoon, no? Uh, they will repeat the run, sabihin nila, ano? So, ito class hindi considered na hazing, no? Why? Because this will determine if you are really fit, no, to join this elite force, itong Scout Ranger. Alam niyo naman class ang trabaho ng isang Scout Ranger, no? Sila yung mga uh, members of the armed forces, no? Sila yung mga ipinapasabak kaagad, sila yung mga unang dinedeploy kaagad, no? Sila yung mga pinapadala, for example pag tulad dun sa Marawi, no, if you know this incident, itong Marawi siege, no, Scout Ranger kaagad ang pinadala doon. Okay, kung ikaw na isang sundalo o pulis na walang knowledge, no, about survival, no, kasi hindi ka nasanay sa training, no, hindi ka nasanay sa training. For example, uh, sa Scout Ranger training kasi class, no, pag-exercising ka ng pag-exercising, and then bibigyan ka ng isang oras na pahinga, and then gigisingin ka na naman, exercise na naman, no? So, if you are ready, no, kung ready ka sa mga ganitong exercises, no, masasanay yung katawan mo. No? Pero sabi dito kasi hindi daw yon hazing, no? Hindi daw siya hazing. Kasi nga, this will determine kung talagang fit ka nga, no, to become part of Scout Ranger or ng Special Action Force, no. So, applicable also to procedures and practices of other uniform learning institutions and customary athletic events. Ayun, nasagot na natin yung tanong kay Zacarias Maydik. So sabi dyan, customary athletic events or other similar contests for a legal and legitimate objective. O for example, ako yung coach, no? Kailangan ko ng 7-footer na sentro sa basketball. Etong si Zacarias Maydik, mabagal tumakbo, no? Parang Greg Slaughter, no? Slow nga eh. So, mabagal daw tumakbo, no? Pabalik-balik sa court, ang tagal bumalik, no? Hindi man lang marunong mag-free throw, ba't ko siya kukunin? O, di ba? So, doon sa ginawa nila na rigorous exercises doon uh, doon sa pre-draft, sabi doon sa ating previous slide, no? This is to determine kung nararapat ba si Zacarias Maydik na i-draft ng isang team. For example, ako yung isang coach, ba't ko siya kukunin? Hindi pala marunong mag-free throw eh. Di ba? Paano kung yun na lang yung magsasalba sa aming team sa isang championship at siya pa yung na-foul? Di ba? So, ba't ko siya kukunin? Di ba? So, hindi hazing yung class. Okay? To be clear. So, who are liable in hazing? No? Unang-una, those who planned or participated in the hazing. No? Yung mga nagplano at yung mga nag-participate sa hazing. No? Sila yung liable. Sino pa? Persons who planned and participated in the conduct of the hazing. Yung mga pumalo, yung mga namalo, no? For example, kahit wala ka namang pamalo pero sinapak mo, sinuntok mo, di ba? Tinadyakan mo. Okay? Sino pa? Officers of the fraternity, sorority, or organization who are actually present during the hazing. Okay, kahit wala silang ginawa, no, being an officer of the fraternity or organization, no, kahit nanood lang sila, they are liable. Number 4, the advisor of a fraternity, sorority, or organization, yung advisor, liable din siya. All former officers, mga non-resident, and officers who knowingly cooperated in carrying out the hazing of the victim. Ngayon, tignan naman natin, why does the law punish mere presence in hazing? So, ibig sabihin, yung mga mga nanood lang daw, no, yung mga nandun lang sa vicinity or sa area kung saan merong hazing, no, they are also punished. No, for example, si Juan de la Cruz, no. So, andun lang siya, nanonood, pinapanood niya yung pagkandak ng hazing, tinitignan lang niya, at nagkaroon ng raid, for example, si Juan de la Cruz is also liable for hazing. So bakit kaya? Bakit kaya pinapunish pa rin yung mga tao na they're just present in the area? Okay, so meron tayo ditong actual case ng Supreme Court sa kaso ni Fuertes versus Senate. Ang sabi doon, once present during the hazing is prima facie evidence of participation as a principal. Okay, so unless it is proven to have prevented or to have promptly reported the punishable acts to law enforcement authorities if they can without peril to their persons or their family. So ibig sabihin kasi class, yung mga bystanders lang o yung mga nanonood lang, no, yung mga curious lang na nanonood, they are also punishable, no, unless kasi ang purpose, ang intent class ng batas is if ever man na meron kayong makita na may kinakandak na hazing, may pinapahirapan, no? Ang gusto class ng batas is agad-agad ninyong i-report or agad ninyong isumbong sa pinakamalapit na kapulisan or sa mga otoridad, no? So kaya ito yung kumbaga this will discourage those people, no? Yung mga nanonood lang, yung mga nagsasawalang kibo, okay? So this will discourage, no, those people, and they will they will be forced, no, to report this incident to the nearest police station. Ngayon, is waiver valid? So, I hope alam niyo kung ano ibig sabihin ng waiver, ha? Waiver. So, siguro yung iba sa inyo or almost all of you, pag meron kayong field trip, for example, meron kayong excursion, no? May pinapapirmahan na waiver, di ba? O kaya pag mag-OJT na kayo, no? Kayong meron kayong pipirmahan na waiver. Ngayon, ito bang waiver na ito, no? Itong waiver ba na ito is valid during hazing, no? Sabi dito class, waivers are void, no? For example, nakalagay doon sa piece of paper na waiver, nakalagay doon na uh, na ikaw ay kusang loob at walang nagpersa sa iyo na sumali o kaya mag-undergo ng initiation rites, no? For example, sa Alpha Kappa Rho na fraternity, no? So, pinirmahan mo yung waiver na yon, ang nakalagay doon na kung meron mang masamang mangyari sa iyo or kung ikaw man ay mamamatay o kung ikaw man ay masasaktan, hindi mo pwedeng habulin ang mga officers or mga members ng fraternity na yun, no? For example, yun ang laman ng waiver. Is that valid? Ang sagot dyan class ay no, no? That waiver is void kasi any form of approval, consent, or agreement, whether written or otherwise, or of an express waiver of the right to object to the initiation right or proceeding which consists of hazing made by a recruit, neophyte, or applicant prior to an initiation right that involves inflicting physical or psychological suffering, harm, or injury shall be void and without any binding effect of the parties. Okay, assuming na ikaw ay pumirma doon sa waiver, pinirmahan mo, nakalagay doon na if ever na may masamang mangyari sa'yo, hindi mo pwedeng habulin o hindi mo pwedeng ihabla yung mga officers and members of that fraternity. No? For example, ikaw ay na-hospitalize, no? Sabihin natin na comatose ka. So ngayon, yung parents mo, binalikan itong frat members, yung frat officers, no? So, hindi pwedeng sabihin ng president ng organization na, pumirma po kasi yung anak ninyo sa waiver na hindi niya po kami pwedeng ihabla or hindi niyo po kami pwedeng ihabla in case na may mangyari sa kanya. Kasi nga po pumirma siya, no? Ito po yung waiver, pinakita pa, no? O sabi ng batas natin, that waiver is void. It is null and void. Sabi diyan, it is without legal effect. Ngayon, tignan naman natin class yung mga hazing cases simula nung 2001. So, hanggang 2001 lang tayo class, no? So, I know meron ako mga binigay na activities sa inyo which is I think mga 1990s pa yon, no? So, hindi lang naman 2001 nag-umpisa class yung mga hazing practices, no? That's way back, no? 1990s pa. So, tignan natin class ito, ng 2001 case ni Monico de Guzman. So, he is a PMA pleb. Pag sinabi natin pleb class, he is a first year cadet, no? Whose death was attributed to illness by officials. Okay, so sabi diyan, yung pagkamatay daw ni Monico de Guzman, konektado daw sa isang sakit, sabi ng mga officials. Ngayon, his father, however, believes that his son died from notorious beat attack. Ibig sabihin na siya ay binugbog, no, on entrance in boot camp. Okay? Another case in 2001, itong si Edward Domingo, 23 years old from Kamiling Tarlac, no? At isa siyang PMA cadet, reportedly died of a cardiorespiratory attack due to injuries he suffered from hard blows to the lower part of the rib cage, no? So, two cadets were convicted of homicide. At ito yung latest class, ano, sana wag nang madagdagan, no? Itong si Cadet Darwin Dormitorio. Okay, so ito yung latest na victim ng hazing sa Philippine Military Academy, si Cadet Darwin Dormitorio, no, who died due to alleged maltreatment and torture committed by his upperclassman in PMA. So kung nakita nyo class, kung napanood niyo yung mga clips, video clips na sinend ko sa inyo, no? Yun yung mga examples na talagang siya ay minaltrato, siya ay pinahirapan. Ang sabi pa nga doong class is yung flashlight na may kuryente, ano? So pinangkuryente daw ito sa kanyang private organ, ano? So ganun yung pagpapahirap na ginawa kay Cadet Dormitorio. So noon kasi class, uh, pwede kasing pumasok yung mga plebs, no? Pwede silang ipatawag ng mga upperclassmen nila, no? Ngayon hindi na pwede, no? Hindi na pwedeng pumunta yung mga plebs doon sa barracks ng mga upperclassmen. Ang sistema na ngayon, no, the upperclassmen will go to the barracks of the plebs. Yung mga plebs class, separate yung building nila doon sa mismong barracks ng mga upperclassmen. Yung area kung saan nakatira yung mga plebo, no, they call it barrio. So malayo, medyo malayo yung barracks ng mga pleb compare doon sa barracks ng mga upperclassmen nila. Okay, so yung may assignment regarding the case of dormitorio, mas maiintindihan nyo pa yan, no, once na binasa ninyo yung full text ng insidente. Okay, so now let's look at the penalties of anti-hazing law. So, oh, by the way, after this recorded lecture, you're going to have a short lesson exam. No? It will be posted in your Google Classroom. Okay, so section 14 of your anti-hazing law. So it says there that the following penalties shall be imposed. So the penalty of reclusion perpetua and a fine of 3 million pesos shall be imposed upon those who actually planned or participated in the hazing. So kung kasama kayo sa nagplano or kayo mismo yung nagplano o kaya kayo yung naki-participate mismo doon sa conduct ng hazing, possible na ito ang magiging penalty ninyo, reclusion perpetua, at ayan, meron pa kayong babayarang fine na 3 million pesos. So, bago kayo lumahok sa mga ganyang mga activities, isipin nyo muna kung saan kayo kukuha ng 3 million, no? So, kung kung namatay yung biktima, no? Or as a result of the hazing, no? Namatay o kaya bago namatay yung biktima, ni-rape muna, okay? O kaya tinanggalan pa ng mga parts ng katawan niya. Okay, so penalty niyo dyan class is reclusion perpetua and a fine of 3 million pesos. How about if hindi naman namatay yung biktima? Okay, so the penalty of reclusion perpetua and a fine of 2 million pesos shall be imposed upon all persons who actually planned o kaya nag-participate doon sa conduct ng hazing. So, hindi namatay yung biktima class, hindi namatay, sabihin natin na siya ay na-confine sa hospital or it was proven that na-hazing yung taong ito. Okay, take note ha, hindi namatay. So, ang kanyang parusa class ay reclusion perpetua and a fine of 2 million pesos. Okay? Ano pa? So, lahat ng mga officers ng fraternity na yon, sorority, okay, organization, actually present during the hazing, the same penalty class. Reclusion perpetua and 2 million pesos and a fine of 2 million pesos. Sino pa? Yung advisor ng fraternity, sorority, or organization who is present. No, dapat present siya when the acts constituting the hazing were committed and failed to take action to prevent the same from occurring or failed to promptly report the same to the law enforcement authorities. No? Okay. Sino pa? All former officers or non-resident members or alumni of the fraternity, sorority, or organization who are also present during the hazing. Who else? Yung mga officers or members of a fraternity, sorority, or organization who knowingly cooperated in carrying out the hazing by or in-induce nilang victim, they induce the victim to be present thereat. And lastly, members ng fraternity, sorority, or organization who are present during the hazing when they are intoxicated. No? So kahit lasing, no, but you are there during the hazing, so you're still liable. At ang parusa mo ay reclusion perpetua and a fine of 2 million pesos. What else? The penalty of reclusion temporal in its maximum period and a fine of 1 million pesos shall be imposed upon all persons who are present in the conduct of the hazing. Ito yung mere standby lang ito, di ba? Mere bystander pala, no? So, andun ka lang, naka-standby ka lang doon, wala kang ginagawa, pero pinapanood mo, no? You are also liable at itong parusa mo. Reclusion temporal in its maximum period and a fine of 1 million pesos. Ano pa? The penalty of reclusion temporal and a fine of 1 million pesos shall be imposed upon former officers o mga nakarang officers, mga non-resident members, yung alumni ng fraternity, sorority, or organization who, after the commission of any of the prohibited acts, will perform any act to hide, conceal, or otherwise hamper or obstruct any investigation that will be conducted thereafter. Ito yung mga ayaw maki-cooperate sa ating mga kapulisan, no, pag tinatanong sila o kaya tinatago nila. For example, they are hiding, for example, yung mga frat members who conducted the hazing, no? Tinatago nila o kaya hindi sila nagsasabi ng totoo regarding the whereabouts of the frat members. Ano pa? The penalty of prison correctional in its minimum period shall be imposed upon any person who shall intimidate, threaten, force, or employ or administer any form of vexation against another person for the purpose of recruitment, in joining or promoting a particular fraternity. So the persistent and repeated proposal or invitation made to a person who had twice refused to participate or join the proposed fraternity shall be prima facie evidence of vexation for purposes of this section. Ito, kinukulit mo daw ang isang tao na sumali sa isang fraternity, sorority, or organization. Nagre-refuse na nga yung tao Okay, ayaw niya. What else? Ito naman, fine lang ito ng 1 million at wala itong pagkakakulong. Shall be imposed on the school, no? So ito naman, penalty ito sa eskwelahan. If the fraternity, sorority, or organization filed a written application to conduct an initiation which was subsequently approved by the school and hazing occurred during the initiation rites or when no representatives from the school were present during the initiation as provided under Section 5 of this Act. Okay, so kung yung initiation daw is nangyari doon sa loob ng campus o kaya wala daw representative ang school na ipinadala during the initiation rites, no? So fine naman ang kanyang penalty. Sino pa ang pwedeng liable? Yung mga owner, yung mga lessee of the place where hazing is conducted. For example, si Juan de la Cruz, meron siyang masang malawak na lugar, meron siyang malawak na, for example, may malawak siyang lupain, no? And doon nangyari yung hazing, no? He is the owner. O kaya he is a lessee of that place, no? At kung doon nangyari yung hazing, no, he will be liable as a principal and penalized under paragraphs A or B of this section when such owner or lessee has actual knowledge. Dapat may actual knowledge ka muna of the hazing conducted therein but you failed to take any action. Hindi mo man lang, wala ka man lang ginawa. No? Ikaw na may-ari ng lupa, pinanood mo pa. Imbis na nagtawag ka sana ng mga pulis to stop the hazing, no? Okay. Who else? Sabi rito, if the hazing is held in the home of one of the officers or members of the fraternity, sorority organization, the parents shall be held liable as principal. Okay? And penalized under paragraphs A or B hereof when they have actual knowledge of the hazing conducted therein but fail to take any action to prevent the same. Okay, kung for example, sa bahay ni Juan de la Cruz na isang frat member, doon kinandak yung hazing, yung mga parents ni Juan de la Cruz, they will also be liable as principal. Okay, so the school authorities, including the faculty members, as well as barangay, municipal, or city officials, shall be liable as an accomplice and likewise be held administratively accountable for hazing conducted by the said fraternities. Okay, so pati pala yung mga school authorities, no? As long as dapat class may knowledge. Kung walang knowledge, they will not be held liable. So, the presence of any person, even if such person is not a member of the fraternity during the hazing, is prima facie evidence of participation. So, ito yung sinabi natin na mere bystander, no? So, kahit nanonood ka lang, curious ka kung paano bang hazing, ano, binibidyo mo pa, at wala man lang ginawa to stop the hazing, you are liable as principal also. Who else? The incumbent officers of the fraternity, sorority, organization concerned shall be jointly liable with those members who actually participated in the hazing. Okay, so ito class yung mga penalty to be imposed doon sa mga nasabi ko kanina. So, sabi ko kanina, pag-isipan ninyong mabuti ha. Pag-isipan niyo mabuti if you're going to join, no? If you're going or kung curious kayo what it feels like to be a member of a certain fraternity, hindi naman bawal class, no? Hindi naman bawal class ang sumali. Ang pinagbabawal lang class ng batas is yung pagkakaroon ng hazing. Okay? So maraming salamat class. This is the end of our lecture and you kindly wait for your activity to be uploaded in your Google Classroom. Okay class, thank you and good day to everyone.